In the realm of fitness, the pursuit of muscle growth is by far the most common goal. Unfortunately, it's also littered with muscle building lies that will lead to nothing but confusion and wasted effort. That's why in this video, I want to share the 7 biggest muscle building lies you've ever been told. So let us separate fact from fiction and pave the way for genuine and lasting muscle gains by dismantling these 7 pervasive myths. Number 1. Muscle damage is necessary for growth. This idea that muscle damage is necessary for muscle growth suggests that we must train at high intensities and at very high volumes if we want to build muscle optimally. However, a closer examination reveals a different story. For one, muscle growth can occur without significant muscle damage, as evidenced by studies on blood flow restriction training. These studies indicate that hypertrophy can be stimulated without the need to tear down or create micro tears in the muscle fibers. Second, even if muscle damage were a prerequisite for growth, it doesn't necessarily lead to increased muscle size. Studies have shown that while muscle damage causes a large and sustained anabolic signaling response, this only leads to the regeneration and repair of the damaged fibers, meaning the damaged muscles do not grow in size. And lastly, recent research on the role of muscle damage in hypertrophy indicates that transient increases in muscle size are due to swelling, not true hypertrophy. In fact, muscle damage can actually delay muscle growth as the body prioritizes repairing damaged fibers over creating hypertrophic adaptations. In conclusion, the idea that extreme muscle damage, soreness, and fatigue in every workout are essential for maximizing muscle growth is not supported by the latest scientific evidence. Number 2. The post-workout anabolic window. Many beginners, including myself, have been led to believe that there is a strict and critical post-workout anabolic window. This idea suggests that failing to consume protein within 30 minutes of your workout would hinder your ability to maximize muscle growth, potentially undoing your hard work in the gym. One study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, however, reveals a more flexible anabolic window that extends from 3 to 6 hours, encompassing the period between your pre- and post-workout meals. In essence, you have up to 2 to 3 hours after your workout to consume your protein for optimal recovery. For example, if you had a meal 2 hours before a 1-hour workout, you still have a 2-hour window post-workout to enjoy your recovery meal for optimal results. Rather than fixating on immediate post-workout nutrition, what truly matters is ensuring you're getting sufficient protein throughout the day. Therefore, as long as you have a pre-workout meal a few hours before your session and follow it up with a post-workout meal within a similar time frame, you'll have no problem building muscle maximally. Number 3. Cardio kills muscle growth. While it is true that cardio can have a negative impact on explosive strength or power, the impact of cardio on muscle growth appears to be either minimal or, in some cases, statistically insignificant. One study, for example, comparing female endurance athletes and untrained women, where both groups followed the same strength training program, but the endurance athletes also performed running and cycling, found that there were no differences in muscle growth and strength between the groups. Another study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology comparing a strength training only group and a group who performed concurrent strength and endurance training found that both groups experienced very similar increases in muscle mass. To put it simply, cardio does not directly impede muscle growth when performed in moderation. However, its effects are influenced by the type, frequency, and duration of endurance training selected. This means the longer, harder, more damaging forms of cardio should be avoided, as they can negatively affect muscle gains by interfering with your training performance and recovery. If your goal is to build muscle, then resistance training should be your primary focus, with cardio serving as a complementary element to your fitness regimen. Number 4, more protein equals more muscle growth. The idea that more protein directly equates to more muscle growth doesn't hold up to scientific scrutiny. One study compared the effects of a moderate versus a high protein diet, with the high protein group consuming more than double the protein of the control group. After 8 weeks, they found no significant differences in muscle mass. While studies do show that high protein diets offer other benefits, such as increased satiety and muscle retention for those in a fat loss phase, guzzling copious amounts of protein is unnecessary for muscle growth. The question then becomes, how much protein do you actually need to maximize muscle growth? Well, according to this paper, 0.6 to 0.9 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily will suffice. Another study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine suggested that anything over 0.7 grams per pound of body weight daily provided no further benefit on gains in muscle mass or strength. Thus, if you want to maximize your muscle building capacity, rounding out these figures and consuming approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day is a reasonable upper limit. Number 5. 8 to 12 reps is the hypertrophy zone. According to one study published in the Journal of Sports, hypertrophy can be achieved across a wide spectrum of loading ranges as long as it's greater than 30% of your 1 rep max, irrespective of age or training status. Thus, there is no ideal hypertrophy zone. So, whether you prefer training with lighter loads for higher reps or with heavier loads for lower reps, you'll have no problem building muscle. In fact, most studies support combining different loading ranges to promote even better hypertrophy outcomes. That said, rather than sticking to one specific rep range, try programming your workout in a way that allows you to train in a variety of loading ranges, as this will make it far easier to progress over time. Number 6, you need to train to failure. While recent research has suggested that there is a trend toward more favorable muscle growth outcomes when sets are taken closer to failure, this study, published in the Biology of Sport journal, found that training to a point where you have only 1 to 2 reps left in the tank yields muscle activation and mass gains similar to those achieved by training to failure. Thus, leaving a few reps in the tank at the end of a set or stopping a couple of reps before failure is enough to maximize hypertrophy. Another reason to limit training to failure is that it tends to be more fatiguing, necessitating longer rests between sets and extended recovery times between workouts. Not only that, but training to failure requires a reliable spotter and comes with a heightened risk of aches, pains, and injuries that often accompany pushing exercises to their absolute limits. And number 7, dirty bulking builds muscle faster. While it is true that bulking requires a caloric surplus to maximize your body's synthesis of new muscle tissue, the idea that indulging in any type of food you want is more bro science than sound science. Simply put, overeating to the point of discomfort won't expedite your muscle building journey. In fact, it may do the opposite. It's crucial to understand that your body can only efficiently utilize a relatively modest surplus for muscle development. Consuming calories beyond this point will be stored as fat, not muscle. According to this review, a surplus of about 300 to 500 calories above maintenance is all you need to maximize your gains. To put it simply, while physics dictates that a caloric surplus is essential for muscle gain, it doesn't endorse reckless overeating. Just as there is an upper limit to protein intake, there's also a cap on the calories your body can efficiently allocate for muscle growth. So there you have it, the 7 biggest muscle building lies ever told. And if you're anything like me, you've probably fallen victim to more than a few of these myths, and they could be the reason why you're stuck spinning your wheels. Remember, the journey to your dream physique will be much faster when you base it on true science rather than taking advice from others just because you're impressed by their physique. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Peace.